The stomach plays a crucial role in digesting food, breaking it down into a form that can be absorbed and utilized by the body. Here's a detailed explanation of how the stomach processes food. Step-by-step process of digestion in the stomach. Food enters the stomach. 1. When you eat, food travels down the esophagus and enters the stomach through a muscular valve called the lower esophageal sphincter. 2. The sphincter prevents food from flowing back into the esophagus. Mechanical digestion. 1. The stomach's muscular walls contract and relax in a rhythmic motion, a process called peristalsis. 2. These movements mix the food with stomach secretions, breaking it into smaller pieces and forming a semi-liquid substance called chyme. Chemical digestion. 1. The stomach lining releases several digestive substances. Gastric acid, hydrochloric acid HCl, lowers the pH to 1.5 to 3.5, creating an acidic environment. Breaks down proteins and kills harmful bacteria or pathogens in food. Pepsin, an enzyme activated by the acidic environment, begins breaking proteins into smaller peptides. Mucus protects the stomach lining from being damaged by acid and enzymes. Intrinsic factor, essential for absorbing vitamin B12 in the small intestine. Storage and gradual emptying. 1. The stomach serves as a storage tank, holding food for about 2-4 hours. 2. Food is released gradually into the small intestine through another valve called the pyloric sphincter. 3. The rate at which the stomach empties depends on the type of food. Fats take the longest to digest. Proteins take less time. Carbohydrates are digested the quickest. Preparation for absorption. 1. The partially digested food, chyme, enters the duodenum, the first part of the small intestine, where it mixes with digestive enzymes from the pancreas and bile from the liver. 2. This is where most nutrient absorption begins. Key roles of the stomach in digestion. Protein breakdown initiates the digestion of proteins using pepsin and acidic pH. Protection destroys harmful microorganisms present in food. Storage temporarily holds food and releases it in controlled amounts for further digestion. Signal coordination produces hormones like gastrin, which regulate digestive processes and signal other organs like the pancreas and liver. Factors influencing stomach function. 1. Diet composition. High-fat and high-protein meals require more time to digest. 2. Hydration. Adequate water intake supports the digestion process. 3. Health conditions. Issues like ulcers, acid reflux, or gastritis can disrupt normal stomach function. By breaking food into smaller molecules, the stomach ensures that nutrients can be efficiently absorbed in the small intestine, fueling the body with energy and essential nutrients. The stomach is a vital organ in the digestive system, responsible for breaking down food into a semi-liquid form called chyme. This process involves a combination of mechanical and chemical digestion, making nutrients accessible for absorption later in the digestive tract. Here is an in-depth explanation of how the stomach processes food. Entry of food into the stomach. 1. Esophagus to stomach. After swallowing, food travels through the esophagus, a muscular tube that uses wave-like contractions, peristalsis, to push food down. At the bottom of the esophagus, the lower esophageal sphincter, LES, opens to allow food into the stomach and then closes to prevent stomach acid and food from traveling back into the esophagus, reflux. Mechanical digestion, churning of food. 1. Muscular contractions. The stomach walls are made of strong muscles that contract rhythmically. This mechanical action is called peristalsis, which mixes the food with gastric juices and physically breaks it into smaller pieces. 2. Formation of chyme. The contractions turn the food into a semi-liquid mixture called chyme, which is easier to move through the digestive tract. Chemical digestion, breaking down food molecules. The stomach secretes several substances that work together to chemically break down food. Hydrochloric acid, HCl. 1. Function. Secreted by the parietal cells of the stomach lining. Lowers the stomach's pH to around 1.5 to 3.5, creating an acidic environment. Helps to break down proteins by unraveling their structures. Kill harmful bacteria and pathogens in food. Activate digestive enzymes, like pepsin. Pepsin. 1. Function. An enzyme released in an inactive form called pepsinogen. Activated into pepsin in the presence of stomach acid. Begins breaking proteins into smaller molecules called peptides. Mucus. 1. Function. Secreted by goblet cells in the stomach lining. Forms a protective barrier on the stomach walls to prevent damage from acid and enzymes. Ensures the stomach doesn't digest itself. Intrinsic factor. 1. Function. A glycoprotein necessary for the absorption of vitamin B12 in the small intestine. Without it, B12 deficiency can lead to anemia and neurological issues. Hormonal control and regulation. The stomach produces hormones that regulate its activity and coordinate digestion. 1. Gastrin. Stimulates the release of gastric acid, HCl. Helps maintain the stomach's acidic environment. 2. Ghrelin. Known as the hunger hormone, it signals the brain to regulate appetite. 3. Secretin and cholecystokinin, CCK. These hormones are released later in the digestive process to coordinate with the pancreas and liver for further digestion in the small intestine. Stomach storage and gradual emptying. 1. Temporary storage. The stomach acts as a reservoir, holding food for 2 to 4 hours, depending on the type of food. Carbohydrates. Digest the fastest, within 1 to 2 hours. Proteins. Take slightly longer to break down. Fats. Take the longest, up to 4 hours or more. 2. Controlled release. Food leaves the stomach through the pyloric sphincter into the duodenum, the first section of the small intestine, in small amounts to ensure efficient digestion. Preparing food for absorption. 1. The partially digested food, chyme, is acidic when it enters the duodenum. 2. The pancreas releases bicarbonate to neutralize the acidity. 3. Digestive enzymes from the pancreas and bile from the liver further break down the chyme into absorbable molecules, proteins, broken into amino acids. Carbohydrates, broken into simple sugars like glucose. Fats, emulsified by bile and broken into fatty acids. Supporting factors for efficient digestion. Several factors can enhance or hinder stomach function. 1. Chewing thoroughly. Proper chewing breaks food into smaller pieces, easing the stomach's workload. 2. Diet composition. Balanced meals with a mix of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats optimize digestion. 3. Hydration. Adequate water intake supports digestive enzymes and mucus production. 4. Stress management. Stress can affect stomach acid production and lead to conditions like ulcers or indigestion. Disorders that can affect stomach function. 1. Acid reflux, GERD. When the les weakens, stomach acid flows back into the esophagus, causing heartburn. 2. Ulcers. Damage to the stomach lining, often due to excess acid or H. pylori bacteria. 3. Gastroparesis. Delayed stomach emptying, often caused by diabetes or nerve damage. 4. Indigestion. Caused by overeating, stress, or eating spicy or fatty foods. The stomach processes food through a combination of mechanical churning and chemical digestion, breaking it into a semi-liquid state, chyme, ready for further digestion and nutrient absorption in the small intestine. This complex system is finely tuned by enzymes, acids, and hormones, ensuring your body gets the energy and nutrients it needs. Proper diet, hydration, and healthy lifestyle habits can support optimal stomach function.